Hey YouTube! So actually this video is very overdue. I was supposed to publish this before I left for Orlando for my birthday trip and my vacation, and a lot of shit happened. I got sick, really sick. I wasn't feeling great. I wasn't feeling like doing videos. So this review got delayed for like a long time. I'm back from Orlando now. I had a great time at Disney World, like I always do. But I really want to do this video, and I'm glad it was delayed because originally it was just going to be a review, and now I feel like there's much more to talk about this book because it's involved in a lot of controversy. And I think it's a little ridiculous, so I wanted to give my 2 cents on that. So yeah. So if you're wondering what book I'm going to be talking about, if you watched my previous video, I told you I was reading Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, so if I'm not, please correct me below, but I think it's Jojo Moyes? I'm not sure. I read this book on my Kindle also, but it was so good that I had to like run out and get a physical copy. I actually wanted like the red cover, but it was quite expensive at my local bookstore, so I ended up getting this like small paperback from the movie. Also, I was traveling with it, so it was much easier to carry. But yeah, originally I was just gonna give you my review of this book, which I'm still gonna do at the end of the video. But since a movie recently came out of this book, which I saw while I was in Orlando, and it was really fantastic. It was a great movie. I'll talk more about it later. There's been a lot of controversy about it, which is weird because nobody was talking about it before there was a movie. But now that there's a Hollywood movie, like everyone wants to jump on that train, and there's obviously a controversy about this novel. So what is the controversy? Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't read the book or seen the movie, because I'm going to be talking about a lot of spoilers from this point on. Basically, Me Before You, both the novel and the movie, is about this man with quadriplegia. He suffers it after he's in an accident. He's like hit by a motorcycle. So he has quadriplegia, and it's about this female character who has lost her job and is kind of going through like a 20s crisis of being jobless and all that. She ends up getting a job as a caretaker for this man, this young man, and they develop a relationship. But that's not the controversial part. The controversial part is that Will, the character who has quadriplegia, decides that he wants to commit assisted suicide, for a lack of a word, because he doesn't feel comfortable in this way he is now. So he decides to do that, and at the end of the book he actually goes ahead and does that. So it's not like, I wouldn't say it's an unhappy ending, but it's definitely something very difficult to read, and it's sad, it's definitely sad. But since the movie came out, there's been a lot of controversy because a lot of people with disabilities believe that the film is portraying only the negative side of having a disability, when a lot of people, choose to live full lives with disabilities. And I think there's like a huge problem here, and it's that a lot of these people complaining about this haven't read the book, and from what I could see of the movie, they cut a lot of like background stuff that happens in the book that I think is really important for the topic. So here are my 2 cents, and this is just my opinion. You're welcome to disagree with me. I think this has gone, a little too far. People are boycotting the movie, and I just don't understand. Let me explain myself. So, I understand that Will doesn't make like a traditional choice for people with disabilities. There are obviously a lot of people with disabilities that are very comfortable in where they are right now, and they want to keep on living. They want to fulfill their lives even after they suffer an injury, or even if they've been born with this. They are fighters, and that is amazing. And that, I don't even know what to tell you. I have a lot of friends with disabilities who are like this, and I honestly give you props for, like, I don't even know, fighting through all of those difficulties, because sometimes I have like teensy, itty bitty difficulties in my life that, like, in no way compared to those of people with disabilities, and I feel like the world is caving in on me, and it's really hard for me to get out of those funks sometimes. Yet some of my friends who have way more difficult lives and have disabilities manage to do amazing things. So I'm amazed by that every single day. However, I am highly aware that that is not the case with all people that have any form of disability. Some people, like, you know, like everything in the world, some people are like really fighters and they're ready to face things, and there's that group of people that just cannot do that. And I think Will Traynor, the character from Me Before You, is definitely in that group of people. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's realistic. There's like the positive side of having a disability, and, you know, like the positivity of moving forwards. Not that it's positive to have a disability of any sort, but, you know, moving forwards with that disability. And then there's the side that cannot deal with that. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there like that are afraid to speak out because they will be judged. Sort of like Will was, but he stuck with his decision. He decided he wanted to do this, and he did it. And I don't think it's fair of us to judge that portrayal of a disabled person taking that decision when we are so pro-choice for a lot of other things. But I think that this assisted suicide thing is still incredibly taboo. And we saw that recently with the woman who had terminal cancer, and she wanted to do this as well, and people were judging her left and right. And I think it's a great thing that a movie dares to go ahead with this horribly taboo topic, and even more so a novel first and then a movie that doesn't change the ending of this novel. I think that's incredibly brave of the filmmakers, and I definitely applaud them for sticking with the plot of the novel. And I think it's also incredibly brave of the author to portray this, because not everything in this world is amazing and positive. Okay, there's like a dark side, and there are people that think this way, and they took this decision, and we should respect that decision. Now, does that mean that we don't have a lot of movies that positively portray people with disabilities living out fulfilling lives? Yeah, there's definitely a lack of that, I agree. But just because there's a lack of that doesn't mean that we should like boycott this movie and it's terrible and it doesn't portray people with disabilities, because that's a lie. It just portrays one sector of people with disabilities, not in general, like all of that. But as it always happens with novels that portray like controversial topics like this, or movies that portray controversial topics, we always think that they're glorifying something, and they're not. Because I could write a book that has a racist character as the main character of that novel, and he's trying to he's learning to be a different person, and I'm sure people would say that it glorifies racism, because that's what happens. We always criticize and focus on the negative, and we don't look past that into a message that, hey, this is actually happening, this is real life, and the author or the movie maker is portraying this so we can learn something. Those are my 2 cents, that's my opinion. And I think we should really chill out, and we should watch this movie, because a lot of people are criticizing and they haven't even seen it or read the book, and that's not fair. We should watch the movie and to read the book and realize that it portrays something that happens. This happens. This novel is fiction, okay? This novel is fiction, but the issues it portrays are very, very real, I think, and we should definitely learn to talk about them without judging the people that are feeling like this in the world. So those are my 2 cents on the controversy, but I also want to review this book, so I'm gonna try and make it as quick as possible so this video isn't like 20 minutes long, which it probably already is. I really loved this novel. I like novels that I knew what I was getting into when I picked this up and I saw the trailer for the movie first. So I knew that it wasn't gonna be a happy ending and I was gonna bawl my eyes out, and that's exactly what happened. But I think I really loved it as much as I did because I identified with Luisa so much. We're the same age. She's like in this long relationship with this man that she's not sure is the man for her, and that definitely happened to me with my ex-boyfriend. And she doesn't know what she wants in life. She's just like hanging on to her roots in her country, and I can identify entirely with everything that she's going through. But I think that even though Will doesn't want to continue living, he definitely wants Luisa to do what he couldn't do. He couldn't do it because he made a decision, but he made it possible for her to do that, and he taught her to love, and he taught her to live, and he taught her to not be afraid of living home and just leaving home and just going into the world and doing what she really, really wanted to do. And I think that we can all learn from that message. So definitely live boldly. Live boldly, because some people can't do it, okay? And you should definitely do it for those people that can't. And that's the message of this book. That's why I like it so much. It's definitely carpe diem, and I think the controversy is just, what can I say? There's always controversy surrounding books or novels or movies or whatever. There's always something. But there's even more when we're dealing with such controversial topics. So I definitely recommend Me Before You. I give this 5 bookmarks. It was really great. I'm actually rereading it because I want to like underline my favorite passages. So I'm still here. And when I finish rereading it, I plan to read the sequel, even though I've read it's not as good. I do want to know what happens with Luisa because I like her character so much. So definitely pick this up and read it before you judge it, because I think that is only fair. And that is it for me, guys. I will see you in the next video. Please leave your comments down below, and as always, if you have any recommendations for me, I am glad to hear them because I am on vacation until August and I have a lot of free time. I love you guys. Bye.